We're here in Nittanyville outside of Beaver Stadium with head coach James Franklin. And coach, it is a whiteout week with Ohio State coming on Saturday. What is the level of excitement right now for the coaching staff, yourself, and the team?
Yeah, I think everybody's fired up. Obviously, our players know it's a big game and what this environment is like. A lot of guys came on their unofficial or official visits during this weekend, so it's a big weekend for everybody. But we're just focused on getting better. We want to prepare like crazy all week long and practice really hard, and then go out and play loose and confident.
And for some of our fans who maybe have never experienced a whiteout, what is that environment like in Beaver Stadium, and what is it like to get in there and see all the fans cheering in white?
Yeah, I've been fortunate to work in pretty much every major conference in college football as well as the NFL, and I think there's probably a handful, 2 or 3 environments like a Penn State White Out. It's a special deal, and we're going to need the fans. This is a very good football team, the number 2 ranked football team in the country. We're going to need the fans. They're with us every step of the way to give us a huge home field advantage.
And speaking of some of those fans, what's your level of expectation for the environment that you want the fans to create this week?
Well, we need it to be the best environment that college football has ever seen. We needed it to be very, very difficult for their offense to communicate. We need our players to feed off the energy of the fans. We need the fans to feed off the energy of our players. We need this to be the most difficult environment in all of college football come Saturday night.
And then coming off of a bye week, what was the focus during last weekend in terms of what the team was working on to get prepared?
Well, for us to get healthy, as you know, we've had a bunch of injuries, so getting some guys back was important. Even the guys that have been playing have played a lot of football, so to get them some rest so that they can be fresh come Saturday is going to be really, really important for us. And then also just continuing developing our players, some of our younger players, getting them a little bit more reps in practice as well, and then getting a head start on Ohio State, obviously.
And you just mentioned developing some of those younger players at the midpoint in the season and kind of, overall what you saw last week. Who are some freshmen and some younger guys who are really stepping up in what you saw?
Well, I think Connor McGovern's a guy as a true freshman. It's unusual to play a true freshman on the offensive line. The fact that he graduated early helped with that, but he's a guy that's doing some nice things for us. Cam Brown at linebacker is a young guy that's doing some nice things for us. So those guys probably stand out. Miles Sanders is starting to come on and do some nice things as a return man as well as a running back. But it's exciting. It's exciting. Obviously Blake Gillikin has had a really nice year for us so far, but we just got to continue developing these guys and continue building the depth and talent that we're looking for.
And you just mentioned kind of some of those injuries, but how would you kind of assess the progress of the defense as a whole with some of the adversity that they've faced along the way?
I think Coach Pry and his staff, as well as our players, have done an unbelievable job. I mean, to think about, like we've talked about before, missing 7 linebackers for extended periods of time at one position. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like that. So I think our defense has handled adversity really well. They had a big challenge last week with one of the top rushing offenses in the country coming in Maryland, and played really well. So I'm proud of those guys. The defensive line we knew was going to be a challenge coming into the season and replacing all those NFL players that we lost. So those guys have stepped up and are maturing, and Coach Spencer's doing a great job.
And then switching gears a little bit, looking toward Ohio State, a team that brings challenges among solid strength, that offensive and defensive line. What's the plan of attack there?
Yeah, they're very talented. They're very, very talented. Obviously, JT Barrett's played a lot of football for them and been very, very successful. Their offensive line is probably as good as any in the country. They got speed and talent across the board. It's amazing that I'm saying Bosa again, but the little brother, the freshman Bosa, is playing really, really well right now. So, they're a talented group. They're a talented group at pretty much every position. And it's going to be a real challenge for us to go and play the way we want to play, and that's why we need the fans and everybody with us.
And you mentioned JT Barrett a little bit. What are some keys on for Penn State defensively to be able to contain him?
Well, I think stopping the big play is really, really important for us. Making them one-dimensional. They're a team that's going to run the ball and run the ball with the quarterback. He's going to be a big part of their rushing offense. So, being able to stop the big play, make them earn it. And then obviously our offense is going to have to be able to put some points on the board and keep the fans engaged. I think it's going to be important, stopping big plays on defense and creating big plays on offense.
All right. Thank you so much, Coach, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you so much.